people know that we have a band in Kirinyaga County government? Look at our band. So you need to say, wow. Actually, it's our band by association. Let me thank so much our CC, Calbert, for taking charge and organizing for this prayer breakfast. Asante sana, tupigieni Calbert makofi. It wasn't just about organizing. He also emphasized that we have a prayer Thanksgiving this year. I was very reluctant for many reasons, which I gave them. I have my own reservations. And as you can see, this is a prayer breakfast, but we've done it a little bit different. And I said, if we're going to have a prayer breakfast, let's have a moment to just thank God for thus far He has brought us. I think many times we take for granted the journey that we have taken. And when we were talking, I don't know why, but I just thought of let your light shine. There was something we were talking about, and I said maybe that can be our theme as we head towards the closure of this term. Believe it or not, we are past the halfway mark. Way past the halfway mark. We only have 2 years to complete, as Jacqueline was telling me yesterday, kumi bila break. Kumi bila? And we thank God. You cannot take that for granted. But it's not just about the time, but it's also the favor that God has granted us as Kirinyaga County. I really don't have a speech today. I had my speech yesterday. I think what I needed to tell the county executive, I did. My conversations are usually very simple. It's about delivery, work, target, focus. And this is what I told them yesterday. I told them because I had noticed people are already saying, "Situko karibu kumaliza." Isn't it? There are those who in our midst are eyeing political positions, those who are elected, and those who are not elected who want to go into politics. There are those who are looking for other positions in government, in private sector. And so oftentimes we lose sight of the work that is still remaining and start getting distracted by the things that we want to be in 2027. And this is what I said. There are standards that we have set, so I don't want to repeat them. I have seen where there have been some laxities, and I think we have had that conversation with the executive, and I'm sure they will be taking action. But I said that the standards that we set from the first day that God graciously allowed us to be serving in Kirinyaga County in 2017, and that's why we have the pictures. I said we must take the pictures of before, so that at the end of my term, I will show the after. Speaker was laughing at how Kagio looked like in Kirugwea. I mean, it's unbelievable. If you look at it, it's honestly unbelievable. It was like a muddy patch. You know, Kirugwea, there was no cabro, that cabro you see there was no parking. There was no hospital. Those buildings, many of them came after we had started building in Kirugwea. Kagio, we used to pass. I had a friend of mine who used to bring me during the campaigns. And one day when we were passing through Kagio, she asked me, Yani, you've left Nairobi to come here and you decided that this is the job that you want to do. I remember her asking. And that day I told her, by the way, we are going to put cabro in this market. I didn't even know the procedure at that time, but I knew that it could be changed if we started somewhere. Did Kagio change or not change? There was no electricity. The lights you see in the streets from Sagana till here, they were not there. We put them in 2018. Kirinyaga was total darkness. Another friend told me, hey, huku ni kwa mahindi. You know, it used to be from Sagana all the way to Kagio. All you see is maize and farms. And if you understand, kuna mtu ananipangia mambo ingine. Nitakuwa kama Malala ni bebe yangu. So I think I've lost my small train of thought. But the point is, we were determined to transform Kirinyaga. And so when we decided to run a second term, I decided my slogan would be Wera Warie. Even if we have worked, I knew that to be re-elected, work, and this I tell all my political people, constitutes about 40% of the determinant for your re-election. Is that a surprise? In the ideal sense, it should be 80. But we don't focus too much when we're electing leaders on delivery, do we? We just elect whoever it is that we want, whoever we like the dancing style. I have seen critiques of various people who atapata kura aja na ajui kuimba. You know, you can see bwana DG hata ikiwa ulikuwa umefundishwa na composer. Ukisema ni kutafuta kura, you will need some rehearsals. Kwa sababu ukikuja watu wanaangalia left, waangalie right, there are people who will just not vote because of that issue alone. So 40%. I pray that in 2027, the determinant for who we are electing in Kirinyaga will be work 70 to 80%. Ati watu wa Kirinyaga wataangalia before and after. And I intend to put billboards, by the way, in every place. In Kerogoya, I will put a billboard to show this is how it was before I came. This is how it looks now. So that when you are electing, you look at the person who is coming to campaign behind that billboard and ask yourself whether this person can now move us from here to another picture I saw one of the Waishimuas posting of Kirinyaga. I wish Kirinyaga would look like that. If that Sagana roundabout would look the way I saw, and those buildings like the capital city of Nairobi, it is doable, but it depends on the leaders. So today I don't have much to say, except to say to the team that is most often not seen. Many of you, we've never interacted face to face at individual level, because I interact mostly with the CECs and the CEOs. And if it goes beyond that, to the director level. So it is very rare that I will meet the deputy directors or the officers or the principal officers or even the nurses in the hospitals and the doctors. Today was a Thanksgiving and also a prayer service. I want to take this opportunity to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. We take the credit for the work, but the people who actually oil the wheels, the people who mix the mortar, you know, the people who build, the people who carry the weight are you who are sitting here. This is just a small portion of the ones who are in the executive. Kirinyaga County total staff is in excess of 2,200. When you meet them, tell them the governor said today from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. Jipigieni makofi. Mmepokea shukrani zangu? Wangapi wamepokea shukrani za governor? Let me say this. Many of you who work in this county live in this county. True or false? Huku ndio nyumbani. And I know that because every time I go to Senate, one of my audit questions is that 98% of my staff are Kirinyagans. So I know you're from Kirinyaga. Everything you do in here, you do it for yourself. The roads you build are for you. They're not for anybody else. Hakuna mtu wa Nairobi, atatoka Nairobi kukuja, maybe once in a while when they're coming for a wedding or a funeral or to visit, maybe there is a function, they will come. But the person who uses those roads every day is you. That Kerogoya hospital, when I was building, I've had my fair share of challenges, as you all know. One of my biggest fights in my first impeachment was because I was refusing to release the funds because I was determined that Kerogoya will be built. But because they did not have a vision of what I was thinking, you know, people thought it was just a story. In fact, they used to say, "Ni story too. Was the hospital built or was it not built?" So today, for the civil servants who have to use that facility, aren't you glad that we upgraded Kerugoya from what it was to what it is today? Aren't you? I mean, the standards of that hospital, we have tried, as the only thing it doesn't have is a private wing. But the standards are comparable to any private hospital in the capital city. Nairobi Hospital, Aga Khan, apart from the size. If you look at the doors, the floors, the equipment that we have put there, the services that we're providing, all the systems are digitized. It's the standard of any, let me say, level 5, level 6 in a private hospital. But the people who use it is us. I remember once, after haggling with people about that hospital, there was one incident which I don't want to repeat exactly what, because I don't want you to know who I'm talking about. But a family member of one of the people who was refusing actually got into a situation which, if we had had Kerugoya then, probably would have managed to save their lives. And that is when I said, you see, it's until it reaches home. My own mother comes from Kiamogumo and goes to Kerugoya Hospital. My mother, Ninawa Governor. And she has a favorite doctor, my Department of Health knows. If that doctor is not there, she will wait for that doctor. And that doctor will treat her, whether it is her head, her knee, we will try and tell her, no, that doctor you like very much, his specialty is bones. But her stomach will not be healed if she has not seen that doctor. And she followed that doctor. There was a time another doctor was in Sagana. She would insist that she will see, even if you take her to Nairobi, she'll still come back and go to her doctor. It's a blessing. I feel so honored as a daughter that I managed to do something that actually we can benefit from, because people will imagine that we build it for other people. Many times I consult through my CECs privately with the doctors there, but I wouldn't go and queue. But I will ask, I have an eye infection, my tooth is aching, I have a fracture. Can you ask them to recommend? There's this medicine I have taken. Do you think those doctors know what they're doing? And we're glad that we have actually upgraded our healthcare to where it is. That's just one hospital. But we have built new 24 health centers and dispensaries and added to the total over 74 health facilities in Kirinyaga. All of them, I don't know whether you know today, that they are all digitalized. Do you know that? All of them. From the level 5 to the smallest dispensary, all of them in Kirinyaga County are digitalized. I won't talk about what we've done in revenue. We have upgraded our towns and all that, because you're the people who have done that work. The only thing I will ask you is that let us not lose the focus for the next 2 years. I said this to the CCs and the CEOs. The standards of cleanliness of Kirinyaga must continue to be high and improved. You may not notice it, but they know that even when I'm not in this county, I will send you a text message of a picture of where garbage is. CCs, they know. We have WhatsApp groups for environment, for roads, for water, so any complaint, alcoholic licensing of businesses, even if I'm not here, I will forward and say, please explain why there is garbage in Kerugoya behind the market, and I send the picture. And I say, I'm giving you 2 hours, send me a picture. And they will send a picture of collected garbage. It's you who does that work. Why do I do that? Because people have set a standard for Kirinyaga. So when they come, they say Kirinyaga is very clean. The next person who comes, if they don't find it like that, they will report. I thought you said this county is very clean. Health services, water services. There is that which we still have to do and to finish. And I pray that we'll finish with the same energy. You know, when we watch marathoners running, they look like they are just jogging, isn't it? But when they're approaching the finishing line, what happens? They increase their speed. Why do they do that? To ensure that you win and finish strong. I pray that we'll finish strong, because I pray God gives us up to 2027 August. I think we estimated that to be on 25th. We'll be handing over this county around the 25th. Isn't that what we said, CS? About 25th. So assuming elections is on 9th, results are announced on 10th, we have to hand over in 14 days. So we actually have a date. I said on that day, right? And I had this conversation with my CECs, that we will hand over Kirinyaga in the best possible standard and form to the new governor. And we will tell him that if you go to Kagio, this is where we are at. If you go to Kerogoya, this is what we have done. If you go to Kianyaga, this is what you will find. In Kagumo and in Dia Kibengoti, this is what you will find. We will tell him that we have connected households of water. This number of households. Those that are not connected are this. Electricity in Kirinyaga is up to here. What is not done is this. Our tarmac coverage has been done up to here. What you need to lobby the national government ni kutoka hapa kwenda pande huo. We will tell them what we have done with the rice farmers. When I came, it was only one rice season. Now we plant 3 times. We have tripled the income of Mwea rice farmers. They are now receiving in excess of 16, 17, 18 billion shillings a year. You may not know that. But collectively, the rice that we are growing in Kirinyaga earns our farmers close to 18 billion shillings a year. Our coffee farmers, the same. Our dairy farmers, we have given them deliberate support in extension services, in providing technical support, in giving them milk coolers, providing AIA services. Our cows used to produce an average of 2.5 liters of milk. I was saying I will not talk about the things that we have done, but now I'm ending up saying something. Now we have increased our breeds in about 100,000 households to about 7.5. The agricultural team may not understand why we buy the AIs and have to go to house by house, but they know that the reason was to increase the production of milk. We didn't leave them there. We worked with cooperatives to provide them milk coolers, milk haulers, the lorries for buying the milk cans as well for collecting milk. We have gone and given them yogurt making machines. And those circles and cooperatives have moved. They're even packaging milk in packets and even packaging yogurt. And our farmers are getting better yields for their milk. We didn't just wake up and think. It's been a deliberate effort in agriculture, in health, in infrastructure. Now we have our industrial park. Tunayo hatuna. Tuna industrial park hatuna. I remember even the MCA told me, I thought it was a story. MCA Kariti, you remember? He said that when I said I'm going to start an industrial, he thought now, sasa governor, wanatafuta tu njia. But if you have not gone there, I encourage you, please take your time and go to Kariti Ward and look at what we're doing in Sagana. Our KIPES warehouses are at about 95%, 98% finished, apart from the one that we added with our own resources. And our EPZ is over 50% done. The EPZ is the area that will be doing the export processing zones. Now, we did those to provide employment for our young people. It hasn't yet started. But when the investors come, I had somebody pray for us. We hope that we will be able to get at least 5,000 to 10,000 of our young people employed in the industrial park. But that's not it. It's not just the 5,000. Indirect jobs will be in excess of 100,000. Because the industries will be processing avocado. So the farmers have to produce. There will be a tomato processing plant. One of the factories is a tomato processing plant. So those who grow tomatoes in MYKE, and most of that tomato, 40% is lost, they'll be finding a market because there'll be a processor. And therefore, you provide indirect employment to those farmers. There will be coffee processing and tea. I'm talking about the ones I have seen who have already provided an expression of interest to set up factories. And we expect that Kirinyaga will never be the same. So today we give thanks because thus far the Lord has brought us. But we encourage all of us to let our light shine, because we have been told that a city that is put on a hill cannot be hidden, especially if its light is on. And be part of this journey. I also pray that you will pray with us, that whoever will be your governor next time, whoever, and we start praying now for Kirinyaga County, that Kirinyaga will get a better leader than Waiguru. Better. Where have reached they go even? Because I hear many people saying, what will we do? How will we? God is not limited to Waiguru. God is not limited to any human being. God can provide person who will take us now from that level to another level. And if you remember, for those of you who were here in 2013, weren't you here? How many were here in 2013? Staff members. Tukueni mikono juu na nguvu. They are there. Tuseme ukweli. 2013 to 2017. And 2017, hata tuseme tu to 2022. Kuna mabadiliko ama hakuna? Aliye na macho ana? And that's why we say kazi ongee. But that kazi cannot ongea without all of us continuing to pull together and finishing strong in the end. Tumekubaliana? Mutaeneza injili na mutasaidia wakaazi wa Kirinyaga kuangalia na kuchunguza watu ambao wanajitokeza kusimama kwa hizi viti, na sio kiti tu cha governor, pia viti za wabunge, because a governor cannot function without a county assembly, so that we don't take our county backwards, but we take it forward. Thank you once again, and let me encourage you to continue being the light of the earth. Indeed, Reverend, mimi si kama Ngahu. Mimi nilitoka hapa na ile lesson ya torch. Yangu ni ya tochi. Unajua Ngahu alisikia yake. Kuna wengine sitawataja ambao walikubaki mahali ya if you look and imagine. Wako hapo, hawajatoka hapo. Mimi Reverend, and I'm too blessed to have reverends in our cabinet. Mimi nilitoka na torch. Na sana torch ya kumulika nyoka. Because everybody knows how I fear snakes. I have moved from a house here in Kirinyaga because of snakes. The fourth snake showed up. I packed my things, cancelled all my meetings for the week, and told them I am moving. And I moved. It is nowadays I don't think it has very many snakes. But my staff would find me, because I'm a very tough person, they are very shocked when they see that side of me, of fear, of I can't handle it. But I cannot deal with snakes. I just can't. Physical ones, the real ones, and the other ones. The ones that come in human form. So we need that torch so that we can mulika even those snakes, so that you know when to hit. Me hapo ndo nimetoka na hiyo lesson, that we be a light so that we can also see the snakes that may want to bite us and cause us to stumble and not be able to achieve our objectives. To all of you again, asanteni sana. Let us continue keeping our light shining, because indeed a city set on a hill cannot be hidden. God bless you.
Wow, come on, let's put our hands together for Her Excellency the